Yeah, alright. My first one of these types of videos. I think, hmm, I had to think about this for a while, and I think the best, or I think the first thing you guys should know about me is why, or I guess how, the short story. I mean, you know what? Let's just do kind of the long story too of how I got into video games. And um, this was quite a long time ago, and some things are really, really fuzzy even to this day. Not fuzzy in the bad sense, but fuzzy in the good sense, and that means basically I think that I played a game at a certain, or I'm sorry, I thought I'd play a game earlier than I actually did. Um, that's like the only really fuzzy thing. I'm like, did I play it at this age or did I play it this age? Um, so, anyways, it was quite a bit ago. It was I think it was still 1999, 2000. I think it might have been 99. I don't remember the year, but I remember that my aunt had a Game Boy Pocket, and she had with it Dragon's Lair, I believe. Um, and my uncle had Chess Master and a Jeopardy game. But I think I remember playing Dragon's Lair once or twice, and I was like, I don't know what the freak this is about. And then the Chess Master game, didn't know how to play chess, so I did not have fun with it. And the Jeopardy game was just like, it doesn't feel like Jeopardy. I mean, you can argue that it does. The Game Boy Color, or the Game Boy Jeopardy, and the Game Boy Chess Master, and the Game Boy Dragon's Lair. And then my brother got Pokemon. I think it was Red. I think the first one he got was Pokemon Red. And I don't think, but I believe the first time I heard uh, the the reason I wanted to play Pokemon. Okay, I should probably step back a second. The reason I touched Dragon's Lair was because it was something I've never seen before. It was like, oh, it's a Game Boy Pocket, okay, and it has Dragon's Lair on there. Like I don't know what Dragon's Lair is, and then I saw that my uncle had other games. I was like, okay, let me put those in, and I did not enjoy them. And like you feel with the volume in those games, and it's like, the music's like meh, but when I think my brother, no, not think, but when my brother played Pokemon, the thing that drove me into it was the music. It was the main menu music. It was the intro music. It was the battle music. By battle music, I mean wild encounters, trainer fight music, and the gym leader music. All that. I think it's kind of funny because back when I was growing up, I did not care for music too much, or I didn't really see the value of music as much as I do now. Because most of the music I listen to these days is not really. I mean, I do listen to like 60s, 70s, 80s, and sometimes 90s music, but I don't like to listen to modern day music. But I very much prefer to listen to video game um, video game soundtracks. There's I mean there's obviously bad video game soundtracks. Well, I shouldn't say bad, but uninspired, lacking would be some adjectives I would use. But I don't know if they were terrible per se. There are probably some that I'm just letting off on the side. But I believe Pokemon Red was the very first game that I was like, wow, I need to play this game. This game looks amazing. And I don't remember the day specifically, but I believe I was 5. And um, Jack, okay, my oldest sister and my oldest brother, or I should say my older brother, he's my only older brother. They went somewhere. We went to our grandma's house, and they went somewhere. And it was just my grandpa there, my pops, and well, I liked the Game Boy a lot, and they tried to say, okay, they told Pops, okay, do not let him touch the Game Boy Color. And I think from that point on, um, I was like, okay, I like playing it, but I don't like playing it for 3, 4 hours. I just like playing it a little bit and then take it off because of the music. The one thing that I liked, I remember this specifically. I think it was Brock or it was Misty. I don't remember which one it was, but I would just let the theme go while it's still on the screen. It says like, your name is battling Misty, or your name battling someone's your name. No. It says leader Misty or leader Brock wants to fight or something like that, and I just leave the theme playing. Or in a trainer fight, I just leave the theme playing because I loved the music in the game. I cannot stress that enough. And eventually, I got more and more and more into Pokemon. I was like, okay, what is like this power do? I remember I was like, oh yeah, Fire Spin sounds like a very strong move. It only does 15 damage, but you don't find that out until later on. I mean, when you get a little bit older. I didn't understand what power meant, and then like what attributes are super effective to other attributes and things like that. Um, I did watch the Pokemon show, so I did have an idea of how some of those things worked. So, um, but ultimately, yeah, Pokemon Red was the very first game that got me into gaming. And I think the going back to the story with my pops, they put the Game Boy up on top of their entertainment center. Excuse me. And they said to Pops, oh, don't let him play that game or whatever. Don't let him. And then I ended up climbing up and getting it. And then I think I forgot who caught me. And then they put it back up. I think it might have been my Uncle Tommy. I don't remember who. They caught me, and then they took it off, and then they put it back up there, and then I think they left, and then I asked Pops very nicely, "Oh, can I get that up there?" And he gave it to me, and I just played it some more, and then when I figured out they were coming back, I climbed up and I put it back right on top. And another thing too about Pokemon, this is I think the best thing. Now, when you're growing up, I mean, I did know of video games, but here's the thing, I did not care if I saved the game or not. I don't care if I had to start the game over again, especially Pokemon Red, because I mean you had three different starter Pokemon: you had Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and you had and Charmander. And I'm sorry, I'm like geeking out, but you know what? I can't help it. So I would always choose like a different starter, and I would get different types of Pokemon. Instead of getting a Pidgey and a Rattata, I would get a Mankey. Was it a Mankey or Nidoran male and like a Weedle or whatever, something like that. I always like mix and match depending on like the who I pick, and I would never save the game because obviously if I save the game, then my brother would know. Oh yeah, he's playing Pokemon. But I mean, granted, you can find out that he's playing Pokemon. Like he can find out that I was playing Pokemon. And what else can I say about that? Yeah, so I did not care to save the game. I just if I started a game over again. So I know that sounds a bit weird, but I didn't care to save the game. That's just how much I loved playing that game. And I was very curious because I'm like, okay, what other games are out there? So I'd go to like Nickel Nickel, and they would have like 8-bit games, and they'd have 16-bit arcade games. And I'd love to play with those. I'd love to play with arcade games because it was so simple. It was kind of like the Game Boy because the Game Boy back in the day didn't have an it didn't have like shoulder buttons. It didn't have back buttons. It didn't have any of that stuff. It only had A, B in the directional pad, up, down, left, right, and you can obviously go diagonal, but not a lot of games had diagonal. I don't believe you can diagonal in a lot of games, and then start and select. And with those arcade games, It was fairly similar. The 8-bit ones. I should probably put that more specifically. The 8-bit ones, like Double Dragon and whatnot, they only had like punch, kick, and then the pad, and then you had like start and select or something like that. And the 16-bit had 4 buttons. And to me, I was like, whoa, 4 buttons. Yeah, you had like a kick button, you had a super, You had like a kick, a punch, and a super kick and super punch, and they had like an L and R, but obviously I did not know it was an L and R. And those would basically be like the power up button or something like use like if you're playing like Final Fight or something, you'd use like the L and R or something or like the special command button to like throw a weapon or pick up a weapon or something like that. I don't remember what it was specifically. I know that there was like that button like that. It was like special, and I would like press the button. They had a teenage. I know that specifically for the. It was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade game had um, only two buttons, I believe. It was punch, kick, and jump. Punch, kick, and jump. Or was it something like that? Punch, kick, and jump, I think. And then for the 16-bit, like the Pokemon, the no, no, the Simpsons arcade game had um, four buttons. It had punch, kick, pick up, special, I think, and then it had like other things on there too. I don't remember specifically, but I did remember playing that game a lot, and I loved playing that game in Nickel Nickel. So I did play a lot of quite a bit of arcades for me too. 16-bit and 8-bit, and it just quelled my thirst for more video games. And I think the biggest inspiration, and I'm being very serious with me. I mean, I'm very serious with me, very serious with you. So you're growing up and you're playing 8-bit games. You're playing Pokemon. You're playing Link, Legend of Zelda. I don't remember which one it was. Um, Double Dragon. You're playing Simpsons arcade game. You're playing the X-Men arcade game. You're playing what was another one? Streets of Rage. I remember Final Fight more than Streets of Rage. I think it was Streets of Rage 2. I don't think I ever played the first one. And then the last, what was another game I played? It doesn't matter. And I'd like to play House of the Dead as well, the shooting game. But and oh yeah, and I think it was House of the Dead. I was like, oh my gosh, is this only on arcade? It cost like 50 cents or $1 or something just for you to get three more lives or something like that. It cost quite a bit of it cost quite a bit of money. Um, but I think no, I don't think I know this is the biggest mainstay. So I was interested in playing games, but I wasn't sold on it because I played so many other bad ones. So I played, you know, with every one good arcade, for every one Final Fight, there's like what's a really bad arcade game that I played. I don't remember. Thank goodness I don't remember. It was a super awful arcade game. For every one of those, there was two of those really bad ones. So I played my fair bit of bad games, and I was like, no, I don't really. I need to see something different. And I remember going to my cousin's house, and they had the PlayStation, the gray one, not the PS one, the white one. My brother ended up getting that one, but they had the gray PlayStation. And one of the very first games I ever saw in there was Spider-Man, the one that also came out on the N64. And I was just enamored by it. It had voice acting. It had voice acting in the game. But here's the thing, it wasn't embedded with the sound chip like most games. It wasn't like Street Fighter, like the arcade Street Fighter, where it's embedded with the sound chip. Like whenever someone would say something in those old games, it would music would be playing in the back. So Guile's theme would be playing when Guile's speaking. Ryu's theme would be playing when Ryu's speaking, something like that. And with this game, it was like, he's talking, and there's different music playing. I was like, what the freak is this madness? And it was polygons, 3D polygons. I was like, oh my goodness, you can play something like this on your console. And I was looking at the console, I was like, oh my goodness. And I think another game that no, I think it was Spider-Man. Spider-Man was like the biggest thing for me. I was like, I need to get this game. I need to get I need to get this console. This is freaking amazing. And another game that did was Mega Man. Was it Mega Man Legends 1 or 2? I don't remember. But that was like Spider-Man. And I was like, I don't care if I just or not buy, but if I get a console for that Spider-Man game, and then I see Mega Man Legends or Mega Man Legends 2. I don't remember which one it was, and I was just like, are you serious? Like, you can, ah, oh my goodness. And then my brother ended up getting PS1, and he got his first game was Mortal Kombat Trilogy. and I had so much fun with that game. Mortal Kombat. I was never I was never good at it until like a certain point where I was able to finally run and do some combos, but I wasn't fantastic, but I mean I got better at it. Um, and then I think eventually my brother got a final. I think okay. Here's the thing that cemented me into in, enjoying and wanting to get video games. I think it was Digimon World, Beyblade, all the games that my brother got before I believe I got my game. And I think he also got Final Fantasy VIII. I don't. This is where it's kind of getting jumbly because the first game I got I was 9 years old, and before I get to that, I believe my brother got Final Fantasy VIII before then. And I remember seeing the opening cutscene of Final Fantasy VIII. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen the opening cutscene, but just imagine seeing that in 2002, 2003, somewhere around there, and you're just like, this is the opening of the game on a PlayStation console. Because by then, PS2 was already out, but it only had like what, like 10, 11, 12 games on there. And it didn't have a it didn't have a good selection of games on the PS2. There wasn't a huge selection of games on launch on the PS2. Uh, but I remember my brother was playing the game. I was like, whoa, this is freaking amazing. And every now and then I'd always ask like, oh, can I play this game? Can I play this game? Because a little did I know when I was growing up, the game had 4 discs. Um, and obviously you had to play the first disc to get to the second disc. And my brother would be like, "Oh yeah, you can play the game. I'll leave the game behind." And it was like a disc 2. And I was like, "Okay, I guess I can play it." Just plopped it in there. It's like, "No, you need to bring in disc 1." I was like, "What the freak would? Why would my brother want me to play this game?" And then, I would like try to plead and stuff like that. And eventually I went to my dad. I'm like, "Dad, I can't play this game. Maddie's not letting me play this game." So that was probably those were probably the games that segmented my need, because by then, like, okay, when I first saw Spider-Man, I was still playing with action figures. When I saw Mega Man Legends, I was still playing with action figures. When I like when my brother first played, I think, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, I was still kind of playing with action figures. um and then like Yu-Gi-Oh came out, and then I think my brother had like a PC. There was like a Yu-Gi-Oh game on the PC, and I played that every now and then, like every morning or something. No, no, no. My brother would play that every morning, I think. I don't remember. Did I play that every morning? I remember playing it a few times after school. Um, I got addicted to that. So the reason that okay, I wouldn't call cards toys per se, but I kind of went into Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon trading cards, and then I think Final Fantasy like stopped that for me, like for a little while. I still played it, but then I think Final Fantasy and then Digimon and Beyblade, it was just like Digimon World and Beyblade to get the game. And it was just like, my goodness, why do I not have a game? And I think when I was 9 and I finished third, was it third grade? I don't remember what grade you're supposed to. Third or fourth grade? I don't remember. I think I was going to fourth grade. I don't remember, but I think it might have been third grade. It was the summer, and my dad promised, "Oh, I'll buy you, or I'll whatever, give you money to buy a game or something, but you can only spend $10." Or I don't remember if it was my $10. I don't remember. I don't remember that detail, but I remember going to Blockbuster, and the only way I think prior to that, like when I was growing up, my cousins would play like a Star Wars Jedi Power Battles, and then I would go to Blockbuster and I'd always stare at the game. I was like, oh my goodness, I want that game. And I think it was like $20 or something. But the only way for you to get that for $20 was you had to like rent a movie and then get like some type of candy, and then the game was $20. So you had to rent a movie and then to get candy or whatever. I don't remember what it was, and then the game was $20. It was something like that. And then eventually they opened it up so that you can just buy the game, whenever you want. Like you can buy games for $50, okay, but Who goes to Blockbuster to buy video games for $50? You rent games. So when they came out with this idea that you can buy games now, but the thing is, they wanted to segue it in with the movie rentals and movie purchases and buying not condiments but snacks there, and then it goes along with, oh, you can buy this game now for a discounted price. And when I was 9 years old in the summer, they were just giving away games. It was like used games or something. Um, and I remember going through certain games, and I remember recognizing one game. It was similar to what my cousin had, and it was Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped. And I picked that up, and I was like, "Ooh, this looks like a ton of fun. This looks like I can play this and enjoy it." And um, oh, another game I should probably bring this up. Another game that kind of got me into video games was Spyro the Dragon, and Spyro Year of the Dragon. Oh, there was another one too. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Oh, there's quite a. Oh my goodness. The long story short, I don't want this video to go on for 40 minutes as I share my experiences with all those games. But Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped was the very first game that I bought. It was the very first game that I went out to go buy. And then I immediately after I bought that game, I was jealous because my brother got Final Fantasy VII, and although albeit the graphics are not better, it was a freaking Final Fantasy game. And by now, I was like, oh, Final Fantasy 8 looks beautiful. It looks nice and it looks whatever. And then no, but here's the thing: like when you look at the cover of Crash Bandicoot 3 Warped, and you compare that to side by side with the cover of Final Fantasy 7, which one? Obviously, it's an opinion. But at my age, like you look at the cover of Crash Bandicoot 3, and he's like smiling, and it's like 1, 2, 3, and then there's like a clock or something like that, and then his some Bandicoot girls in the back. I forgot what her name was, and then they show NT Cortez and all of them. And then you look at the cover of Final Fantasy 7, and you see the Mako reactor, or yeah, Mako reactor, and Cloud and his big ass sword, and I was like, can I I'll trade you. um, but essentially that was my kind of okay. That was kind of a short. I was gonna go a longer version, but I realized that there's so many games that I played before I got to that point. So I'll just leave it up to your imagination. I played Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. I played Spyro the Dragon. I played Mortal Kombat Trilogy. GoldenEye 007. I think that might have been after. No, that was before. Okay, that was before I got Crash Bandicoot 3 Um, Spider-Man, Twisted Metal. Oh yeah, we used to. Yeah, my brother and I we used to rent video games. Budokai. Oh, it was Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. I think. I don't remember where we got it from. I think it was from Blockbuster. They had the English version and they had the Japanese version. And the Japanese version had two extra characters. It had Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and it had Super Saiyan. No, wait. Did it have Super Saiyan 3 Goku? I don't remember if it had Super Saiyan 3 Goku. I know it had Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, but in the original I think it just had Gotenks. I don't know if it had Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and then it had Evil Boo with Gohan absorbed, or was it just regular Evil Boo? Because it only had Majin Buu, and it had and then it had Evil Boo. No, it had Evil Boo original version, but it did not have Kid Buu, and it did not have the absorbed version. I think it had absorbed Gotenks, or it had absorbed Gohan. I don't remember which one it was, like Mystic Gohan. And then I believe it had Super Saiyan 3 Goku, and it had Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks. So it had like extra characters in the Japanese version, and plus it sounded much, much better. But that damn opening, I'm telling you, that opening was freaking amazing for the game. You need to watch it. Watch the opening for Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Battle 22. And we used to rent Mega Man Legends. Um, Mega Man Legends 2. No, I think we bought Mega Man Legends 2. Um, I remember renting Spider-Man once or twice, and I was so. I think Spider-Man was the. Okay, this is when you know you're getting addicted to games. When you're a kid, you get a little frustrated. You get a little like, okay, like, oh, that turned. That like, that really, drives me insane. and then you have games that really make you angry and frustrated. And Spider-Man was the very first game to do that because I was like, I can't finish this gosh dang level. And my dad was like, turn that off, take a break, turn that off, or like, you know what? Um, my dad would be like, you know what? I'm gonna return that game if you don't, like. I'm like, okay, dad. And I'd turn it off, and I'm like, I don't know how to do this part. And then you'd rent it again, so you figure out how to do that part, and over and over and over again. So that that is basically my uh, how do I say that? That was basically the story of how I got into video games. There were some other games in there too. There was the demo disc. I don't remember which demo disc it was. Um, Tomb Raider. I wasn't really a fan of Tomb Raider, but I did like the graphics. I did like the 3D stuff that they had in the PlayStation. I wasn't really a fan of the gameplay even back then, but I did think it was kind of cool. I would always leave the room though. No, I wouldn't leave the room initially. If they were playing Tomb Raider, I'd be like, okay, this is, and then I'd leave when it gets to like the shooting parts and stuff. It's like, oh, that was just gonna be like an adventure game. Um, some other ones. Digimon World 2. My cousins played that. What other ones did they? Resident Evil, the first one. The DualShock. Was it the analog? No, I think it was a DualShock version. That one got me into, well, sort of got me into games. I was like, oh, they have different genres. Dino Crisis 2 or 1, I don't remember. Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. Um, but it was more, those games were more so because I was just, I was scared of them when I was growing up. But I think the thing that made me the most excited was just seeing how those games can be played. Because I would always play like I would always play like E for Everyone games. I wouldn't really play team games. I did play Spider-Man. I did play like Mortal Kombat, which is a mature game, but I didn't really play like a lot of them, I should say. I did play Twisted Metal. I think that was T. Was it T or M? I don't remember. I think it was T. Um, so seeing how like oh I'm able to watch a Resident Evil game. This game's rated M. It's showing like blood and gore and stuff like that. I remember they always used to say like, oh, this game has realistic depictions of violence and gore or something like that, or it has depictions of violence and gore. Be advised or something like that. I was like, whoa, that's freaking cool. But without further ado, that kind of scared me. I think something because I live kind of by the freeway. Um, I think there. I think like a truck was coming by and it kind of scared me. Anyways, that's gonna be this. That's gonna be this video. I was gonna stream today, and then we we ended up going to a party, my family and I, and we didn't come home until about an hour ago. So, and then setting up for work and whatnot, changed. Um, if you guys did enjoy the video, I'm not gonna say that like the usual stuff, but if you did enjoy the video, um, you know, let me know why you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, enjoy the video, like be sure to tell me why you didn't, and also let me know like down below if you want to know about a specific type of story. I wanted to do this type of story because I've been meaning to tell a story like this. How I got my first game, how I got into video games, the types of games that got me in there, and basically the console or whatever that segmented or plastered all over the freaking sidewalk on why I wanted to get into video games more than anything else. I mean, I still played Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I still had Pokemon cards. I still had, um, I still played Monopoly. I still played all that stuff. But video games was always like my go-to. If I had time to, like, there would be times where you just, I just want to play with toys today. Or I just want to do Yu-Gi-Oh today. And then, but most of the time you're like, but I want to play Pokemon. I want to play Mortal Kombat. I want to play Spider-Man. I want to play Crash Bandicoot. I want to play Final Fantasy. So um, that's basically the story. I sure hope that everyone enjoyed. I will see you on the next video. Hopefully, I'll be able to stream tonight. And if I don't, you will see one of these videos again. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.